Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I realize it's been a while, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of things with videos, and I recently watched The Batman. I realize I'm a bit behind on this review, or I don't know if it's really a formal review. Well, not many of my videos are formal anyway, but I'm not too behind because it's sort of released recently on HBO Max, and so a lot of people are watching it for the first time, and so, even though it came out I think over a month ago at this point, maybe 2 months ago, I'm not sure. Anyway, I watched The Batman, and I gotta say, I just gotta be honest, I would definitely put this in my top 3 Batman movies. I don't know where in the top 3, but definitely somewhere in the top 3. I think Mask of the Phantasm is still probably my favorite. Yeah, I should say, I enjoyed this more than the Christopher Nolan movies. I don't know if I'm in the minority on that. I don't know if that's a super controversial opinion, but for me, I definitely preferred this. And I really won't get into the details of why here, but I think there's a certain stylization going on with this that the Christopher Nolan movies didn't have. They were very sort of trying to be realistic. And I think the overall vibe that Matt Reeves was going for here just is better for matching the Batman as a character and this world. It's still, realistic enough, but it does feel a bit more comic booky, a bit more stylized, and I just think something about the way it's designed, something about the cinematography and the designs, everything just feels a lot more cohesive. I think, in the Nolan movies, Batman did sort of stand out a bit. He was like the guy in the giant bat suit and everyone else was just normal. And here, the Batman feels more like a part of this world, which I really liked. Robert Pattinson gives a fantastic performance. Really, I was worried I would just be sitting through super edgy character the entire time, and he is super edgy, but I really liked what they did with him. And there's definitely, he's definitely just Batman. He doesn't really do much Bruce Wayne stuff. And I was kind of worried that it was I do prefer it when they have those two, the separation of Batman and Bruce Wayne. And so it was kind of disappointing they didn't lean into that more. They could go in that direction later on, because I think they're aiming for a trilogy now. But yeah, this movie is mostly Batman. You don't get a lot of scenes where he's being Bruce Wayne, and I find that really interesting and a really interesting change of pace, where it's very focused on the job and it's very focused on the mystery. I do believe this is a noir film, just the way everything's constructed. It's still a superhero movie, but it's a noir superhero movie where he's, the private detective working with Jim Gordon, and all that. And I was really hooked into it. It's not perfect. I do have my minor issues. I think a lot of people have brought up sort of the relationship between him and Catwoman as being a bit rushed. And I do think, they could have done a bit more to develop them. I think they get into it a little bit too quickly. Maybe, they could have sold us on them developing a bit of a relationship at the end of the film, but I do think things move a bit quickly for them, and so that's definitely something I understand. There were a few other details which I really didn't care for, minor spoilers ahead. We're delving into minor spoilers here, spoiler territory. And keep in mind, it has been about a week since I watched the film, so not all of these criticisms are fresh in my mind. These are just the ones which sort of stuck with me after having watched it. So in this film, Batman takes an explosion to the face. I thought that was really dumb. I don't like this modern tendency in action movies for characters to just sort of take explosions like this. The recent James Bond film did the same thing. This one feels a lot more direct though, and it just I don't like it when films do that. You're pushing the suspension of disbelief there at a point. I can accept a lot with suspension of disbelief, but that is pushing it. And then there's also, after that, he gets knocked out, and whenever Batman gets knocked out and someone takes him somewhere, I personally find it really unbelievable that they're not just going to peek under the mask. You know what I mean? If it's the Joker, I'll believe it, because a lot of times the Joker is characterized as he's not in it he's sort of in it for the routine of going up against Batman. So I would believe someone like the Joker wouldn't do it, or someone who possibly is just like, I just want to kill him. I don't even care about his identity. I just want to kill him. But in this instance, I was like, no way he's like knocked out for that long and they don't remove the mask. Like, come on, you're really pushing it. I mean, Gordon was there, so I could kind of believe that maybe he was like, on his side enough. But then it's like, even then, I still, like, it's one of those things where whenever they do it, I just find it really hard to believe, and it does take me out of it. Also, the thing about bullets. So Batman has a bulletproof suit, and I'm okay with him taking a few bullets. It's a bulletproof suit, so obviously, it's I don't have a problem with him, taking a few shots. But the amount of bullets he absorbs in this film, it does bring up the question of like, why does no one just aim for the mouth area when he gets shot this much? He's just taking bullet after bullet after bullet. It's like, okay, come on. Like, if it was like a few ricochets and stuff like that, then it'd be like, every once in a while he does get hit a few times with the bullets. It'd be like, okay, I can believe that like he wouldn't get hit in the mouth area just because, he still is making a bit of a more active effort to not get hit. And I mean, it's not like he's trying to get hit or anything, but it's like they could have lessened up on that, and it would have made it a bit more believable for me. So those are like, I realize these are all like minor things. Well, it depends on who you are. Some people, for these might be, immersion breaking things. For me, they did take me out of it, but these weren't things which ruined the entirety of the film for me. What else? This is like, again, we're in the spoiler territory. I already warned we're in the spoiler territory. The Joker cameo at the end felt very unnecessary to me. I do think it's interesting that we're going in with an already established Joker-Batman dynamic, but I really think they just should have cut that Joker thing out. It felt way too sequel baity for me. I just wish they didn't have it in there. But yeah, those are the major problems which sort of stuck with me. So I might have, like, if I just came out of this fresh with like notes, I'd probably have more things which bothered me. But in terms of like a week later after having watched it, those are the things which sort of stuck in my mind. Onto some positives. I really loved sort of the Batman's, I don't know if it was his arc, but like his realization over the course of the film about how he needed to be more of a symbol of hope, and sort of like the deconstruction and conversation around that, which makes that makes the film sound way more preachy. I can't talk. That makes the film sound way more preachy than it is, I realize, but I felt like that was really well done, and I really liked how hopeful the ending felt. Like, we go through this whole film with it feeling super, super edgy, and then we get to the end where Batman's, carrying the injured woman, and it's like, it left me in a really uplifted spot, despite it being such a dour, edgy film. Also, another complaint, why was Alfred so dumb with that package? Like, come on. Like, why was he just opening it up, like, and just, like, he wasn't suspicious of it at all? Come on. But yeah. How come when Alfred tanks the explosion, he has to be in the hospital for like a week? But when Batman tanks an explosion, he can just get right back up. It's so, there's another thing. But yeah, that's sort of my review, I guess. Just my thoughts, just my quick thoughts. I don't know. If I was doing a review, I'd take actual notes. But I really enjoyed the film. I was really invested, like, all the way through. It really caught my attention and kept me there. And yeah, so that's my thoughts on the Batman. Have you seen the Batman? What do you think of it if you have? I just don't know where to take this. So yeah, leave your thoughts down below. I'd love to know if you've seen it and what your thoughts were. Feel free to like or dislike this video, and feel free to also subscribe if you want to. I'm not pressuring you to. That's just something I'd like, but do what you want to. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.